Y'all be keeping whole kids from the parents. Then be mad when the motherfucker go make some more kids and don't f with you and your kids. Y'all gotta do better. Want more for your kid than you want for yourself. Want more for your kid than it is for you to get the last laugh. I seen that shit on Judge Judy the other day where the lady was jumping up and down when the lady, not Judge Judy, what's the black lady name? The mama jumping up and down because the baby ain't his. But you ain't got no backup daddy for this baby. And you happy that this ain't the daddy and he here in the courthouse trying to find out if it was? I wouldn't give a if it ain't my baby daddy. If he's signing up to be the baby daddy and ain't no baby daddy, that's how we gonna roll until the kid is grown, and we'll tell him the truth when that time comes. But I'm not fixing to steal something from my own kid, just to be like nan and boo boo. Y'all motherfuckers is crazy. You gotta love your kids more than you love yourself, cause Jesus loved you more than he loved himself. He got up on that cross for you, didn't he? He got up on that cross. He could have been like, F all of y'all. Ain't none of y'all all hard-headed. Y'all all nasty. You don't listen. You're trifling with your he could have did us all kind of dirty. Y'all be willing to go way too far sometimes. You around something happen to you, at least, you know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna step up. Who fixing to step up for somebody 15, 16 years old and they ain't even never talked to the motherfucker? Y'all be doing too much. I'm gonna make him pay. What the f*** you think? You gonna go make 6 more kids? You didn't read the book of Hagar? Y'all didn't read the book of Hagar when the Lord told her to take her and her kid and go into the f***ing wilderness and let that man be?
Now hold on. Because just when you thought this situation had reached peak chaos, Blueface's mom Carlissa came crashing through the timeline like she just unlocked a brand new level of drama and baby. She did not come quietly. We're talking about full volume, no filter, no hesitation energy. Because the moment she dropped that "backup mom" line, oh, it didn't just raise eyebrows. It sent the entire internet into a meltdown. Like, excuse me? Since when did we start handing out parenting titles like it's a group project and everybody wants extra credit? Meanwhile, Chrisean is over there moving like a high-security vault with her child locked down, guarded, selective about who gets access, and Carlissa. She's pacing the sidelines like a coach screaming, "Put me in the game." The tension feels less like family disagreement and more like a reality show reunion that's one insult away from drinks flying across the stage. And let's talk about the internet, because they did not stay neutral. People instantly split into teams faster than a cheating scandal goes viral. One side yelling, "Protect your child at all costs," while the other side is like, "That's still family. You can't just block them out." And suddenly, everybody's a relationship expert, a parenting analyst, and a part-time therapist all at once. But here's where it gets wild. Because Carlissa didn't just sound upset, she sounded personal. Like this wasn't just about missing visits or FaceTime calls. This felt deeper. Like there's history, tension, maybe even receipts that haven't fully hit the surface yet. And Chrisean's silence on certain details? Oh yeah, that's making people ask even more questions. Because if everything was simple, it wouldn't look like this. It wouldn't feel like a Zeus episode mixed with a WWE storyline where everybody's waiting for the next dramatic entrance. But here we are, watching it unfold in real time, with emotions high and boundaries being tested publicly. And the real question nobody can ignore is this. Alright, let's rewind this whole situation because nothing about this just happened overnight. No, this is the kind of drama that builds slowly, quietly. Like pressure in a bottle that nobody realizes is about to explode until it's already too late. And if you've been paying attention, the tension between Chrisean and Carlissa, yeah, it's been there, just waiting for the right moment to pop off. From the start, Chrisean's life has never been private. Every relationship, every decision, every emotional moment, it's all been played out in front of the internet like a never-ending reality show. So when she became a mother, people didn't suddenly back off. They leaned in even closer, watching, questioning, analyzing like they had front row seats to her personal life. And with that kind of spotlight, every decision she made as a parent was automatically going to be judged, especially when it came to who gets access to her child. Because let's be honest, boundaries hit different when your entire life is public. What might feel like protection to one person can feel like exclusion to another. And that's exactly where this situation started getting complicated. Now enter Carlissa. And you already know she's not the type to sit quietly in the background. This is someone who has always had a voice, always had opinions, and definitely doesn't mind expressing them publicly. So when she started feeling like she was being kept at a distance from Junior, yeah, that didn't sit well with her at all. At first, it wasn't loud, just small hints, little comments, subtle frustration slipping through here and there. The kind of energy where you can tell something's wrong, but nobody's saying it directly yet. But over time, that tension didn't fade, it grew. And the more it built, the harder it became to ignore. Meanwhile, Chrisean was moving differently, more protective, more selective, keeping her circle tighter, her boundaries stronger. And from her perspective, that makes sense. When your life is constantly under scrutiny, you don't just protect your peace, you guard it like it's everything. But from Carlissa's side, that same move felt like she was being pushed out, and that's where emotions started creeping in heavy. Because when someone feels like they're losing access to something important, it doesn't just hurt, it frustrates. It creates questions, assumptions, and sometimes resentment. And instead of being handled quietly, those emotions started slipping into the public space. Then came the shift. The moment where subtle turned into direct, where hints turned into statements. And once those statements hit social media, oh, it was over. Because now, this wasn't just a private family issue, it was public drama with thousands of people watching, reacting, and choosing sides. And Chrisean, she didn't fold under that pressure. If anything, she stood even firmer. Her energy was clear. This is her child, her responsibility, and her decision. No negotiations, no compromises. And while some people respected that stance, others saw it as too rigid, too controlling. But the real turning point, the moment everything changed, was when Carlissa dropped that "backup mom" line. Because that wasn't just frustration, that was a statement that completely shifted the conversation. Suddenly, it wasn't just about access anymore. It was about roles, boundaries, and entitlement. And the internet? Oh, they didn't let that slide. People started asking questions immediately. What does she mean by that? Why does she feel like she has that role? Is there something we don't know? And just like that, the situation got 10 times deeper than it looked on the surface. Clips started resurfacing. Old interactions got reanalyzed. Every little moment between them was suddenly being looked at like it held some hidden meaning. And the more people dug, the more complicated the situation started to feel. Because now it wasn't just about what was happening in the present, it was about everything that led up to it. The history, the tension, the moments we didn't see. And once people started realizing that, the narrative stopped being simple. But here's the part that really made people uncomfortable. Because as all of this played out publicly, there was a growing realization that this wasn't just entertainment. This was real life, real relationships, real emotions being exposed for the world to see. Now this is where everything went completely off the rails. Because the second that "backup mom" clip started circulating, the internet didn't just react. It went into full-blown meltdown mode. I'm talking about timelines moving so fast you couldn't even keep up, opinions flying left and right, and everybody suddenly acting like they were part of the situation. TikTok wasted no time turning this into a full investigation. Videos started popping up with dramatic music, zoom-ins, captions like "this is getting out of hand," and people pausing every 2 seconds like they were breaking down a crime scene. And the comments? Phew. Paragraphs, theories, arguments, people were deep in it. Meanwhile, Twitter turned into straight chaos. One side yelling, "She's doing way too much. That's not your role." While the other side was like, "That's still family, you can't block them out." And the quote tweets? Absolutely savage. People dragging, defending, switching sides mid-thread like it was a live debate show with no moderator. Instagram tried to keep it cute. But the comments told a completely different story. Influencers started posting vague messages like, "Boundaries are important," or "Family doesn't mean unlimited access." And you already know the comments were connecting dots faster than detectives. Everybody knew exactly who those posts were about. But let's talk about the memes. Because the internet turned this into entertainment real quick. One minute it's serious. The next minute somebody edited Carlissa into a WWE ring announcing herself as the backup mom champion, and somehow people were laughing while still arguing in the same breath. It was messy, chaotic, and honestly, a little too real at the same time. Then came the deeper digging. Because once the jokes started fading, people got curious. Old clips resurfaced. Past interviews got pulled back into the spotlight. Moments that didn't seem important before, suddenly they were being analyzed like they held some kind of hidden truth. And that's when things got complicated. Because people started noticing contradictions. Wait, didn't she say something different before? Hold on, that doesn't match what was said last time. And just like that, the situation stopped being clear. It became confusing, layered, and way more serious than it first appeared. Meanwhile, both sides kept speaking, but the energy shifted. It wasn't just loud anymore. It was sharp. Every word felt intentional. Every statement felt like it had meaning behind it. And the more they spoke, the more it felt like they weren't just addressing each other. They were speaking through the internet. And the audience? They were exhausted but still glued to their screens. You had people saying, "This needs to be handled privately," while still refreshing their feeds every few minutes. Because let's be honest, nobody wanted to miss the next update. This had turned into a real-time drama series, and every post felt like a new episode dropping without warning. But here's the twist that really shook everything. People started switching sides. Not fully, but enough to create even more confusion. Some who were backing Carlissa began questioning her approach. Others who supported Chrisean started wondering if there was more going on behind the scenes. And that is when everything became unpredictable. Because once the audience doesn't know who to believe anymore, the narrative starts falling apart. No clear hero, no clear villain, just chaos, questions, and a whole lot of uncertainty. Meanwhile, something else was happening in the background. Something quieter, but way more intense. Because certain people involved, they stopped talking. And that silence? It felt loud, like decisions were being made behind closed doors, away from the cameras, away from the comments, and if you think the chaos we've seen so far was the peak. And just like that, everything slowed down, but not in a way that felt peaceful. No, this was that eerie kind of quiet that makes you feel like something bigger is brewing underneath the surface. Because after all the shouting, the posts, the reactions, and the non-stop chaos, there was a shift. And people noticed it immediately. At this point, the situation had already gone too far to just die down. Too many opinions had been formed. Too many clips had gone viral, and too many emotions had been put on display. This wasn't just internet gossip anymore, it was real-life tension that had been exposed to millions of people. And once something reaches that level, there's no easy reset button. For Chrisean, this moment felt heavier than anything before. Because now it wasn't just about setting boundaries, it was about defending her identity as a mother while the entire internet questioned her decisions. Every move she made was under pressure. Every word carried weight. And even when she said nothing, people still found something to analyze. Meanwhile, Carlissa found herself in a complicated position that didn't look as simple as it did at the beginning. Because once you say something as bold as backup mom publicly, you can't just walk it back like it was nothing. People were now questioning her motives, her tone, and even her timing. And slowly, the same audience that once hyped her up started side-eyeing the situation, and that's when the energy began to shift in a way nobody expected. Instead of things escalating again, there was a pause. Not a dramatic one, but a noticeable one. Fewer posts, less back and forth. And honestly, that silence felt louder than anything that had been said before, because behind that silence, it felt like something serious was happening. Conversations that weren't meant for the public, Decisions that didn't need comments or reactions. The kind of discussions that don't go viral, but change everything. And the internet? Oh, it picked up on that instantly. People started speculating again, but this time, it wasn't loud or chaotic. It was quieter, more focused. Questions like, did they talk privately? Is something being worked out? Why does it feel like everything just paused? And the craziest part, nobody had clear answers. But here's the thing, even though things looked calmer on the surface, the damage had already been done. Perceptions had shifted, opinions had changed, and once the public builds a narrative, it doesn't just disappear, it lingers, it evolves, and sometimes it comes back stronger. And let's talk about relationships for a second. Because situations like this don't leave people unchanged. Trust gets tested, boundaries get reinforced, and sometimes, connections get permanently altered. Whether people admit it or not, moments like this leave a mark that doesn't fade overnight. But the biggest twist was how the conversation itself changed. It stopped being about who's right and started becoming about what happens next. And that shift, that's when things get serious. Because it means people are no longer just watching, they're thinking. Because at the center of all this drama, past the memes, past the debates, past the viral moments, there's a reality people couldn't ignore anymore. This isn't just content. This is real life, with real consequences that don't end when the camera stops rolling, and just when it felt like things might slowly settle. There was one last unexpected turn. Not loud, not explosive, but enough to make people pause and question everything again. Because even without new statements or fresh drama, there was a lingering feeling that the story wasn't over, like something was still unresolved. Like there were still layers we hadn't fully seen yet. And if there's one thing we've learned from situations like this, it's that unresolved tension doesn't just disappear. It builds, quietly, slowly, until it shows up again when nobody expects it. So while everything might look calm right now, don't get too comfortable. Because stories like this, they don't end, they evolve. And the next chapter, yeah, it might hit even harder than the first. Now listen. If you just sat through all of that chaos like it was your favorite reality show, don't even try to act like you're not invested, because this right here, this wasn't just drama. This was a whole series with plot twists, tension, and emotional damage in every single scene. So go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money. Like it just exposed your secrets, like it tried to leave without paying the bill. Don't tap it, gently hit it with energy, because this story, oh yeah, it deserves that. And don't just sit there quietly either. I already know you've got opinions, so drop them in the comments right now. Who do you think is right in this situation? Was Carlissa doing too much with that backup mom statement? Or is there something deeper we still don't fully understand? I want all the hot takes, all the theories, all the messy opinions, bring it all. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? You just got front row seats to pure chaos, and you're telling me you don't want more of this? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on, because the way this drama is unfolding, trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next. Because let's be real, the internet might calm down for a minute, but situations like this, they always come back louder, messier, and even more unpredictable. And when it does, you already know where to be. Stay messy, stay curious, and stay locked in with Fame Ripple.